Okay, so we are going to look at example number 1. We've got write the equation of a line in slope-intercept form that is parallel to the line y is equal to the opposite of 3 times value of x plus 4 and contains the point 3, 6. So what you want to pay attention to is they told you that you have to be parallel to this line. So they gave us an equation, and it also contains the point 3, 6. So you want to kind of picture this. We've got this line, and notice that the slope is negative. Okay? So that's the line they gave us, y equals negative 3x plus 4, and they want a line that's parallel to that. Well, you need to remember that parallel lines have the same slope. So the line that I want has to have the same slope as this line, and this line's slope is negative 3 because this is written in y equals mx plus b format. So if this slope of this line is negative 3, and I know parallel lines have the same slope, then the line that they're looking for also has to have the same slope. So I also know that this slope is negative 3. And they told us in the problem that they wanted us to write it in slope-intercept form. So that is in y equals mx plus b format. So I have the slope, it's negative 3. Now I just need the y-intercept. So there's 2 ways to go about it. The easiest way I think would be go ahead and write your y equals mx plus b format. And we already know that we are going to be plugging in a negative 3 for m. But now I've got to deal with this point 3, 6. Well, if you remember, your ordered pairs give you an x value and a y value. So what we're going to do is we are going to plug in the 3 for x, and we're going to plug in the 6 for y. And now the only variable that I don't know is b, which is my y-intercept. So I can solve for b. So it's going to look like this. It's going to look like 6 equals and then we're going to put the negative 3 for the slope and 3 for the x values in parentheses, or else it's going to look like negative 33. But really what we're doing is we're multiplying those values. And so now I'm going to do a little bit of math. Well, there's no math to do before the equal sign. It's just going to be 6. So it's going to be 6 equals, and then I'm going to multiply negative 3 times 3 is going to be negative 9 plus b. And I'm going to go ahead and write my b as a capital B because now it's starting to look like my 6. Alright, and then if I want to solve for b, all I have to do is move the 9 over. So to move this negative, since it's being subtracted, that's what the negative sign means, I need to add 9 to both sides. And when I do that, this negative 9 is going to cancel to 0, and I'm just left with b. So I'm going to have b equals, or equals b, however you want to think about it, and then 6 plus 9 is 15. So b is equal to 15. That is the same as me saying 15 is equal to b. So now I know my y-intercept, so now I can plug it in. So my line that is going to be parallel to the equation, or the line that they gave me, is going to be y equals negative 3x, and then my y-intercept is going to be 15, so plus 15. And that is my equation. And if I want to do a quick check in my calculator, I can do that. So I'm going to go to y equals, and I'm going to type in both equations. Negative 3x plus 4, negative 3x plus 15. And I'm going to graph them, and I want to see, are they parallel? Because I should see parallel lines in my graph if I'm going to do a quick check of my work. And it does appear that they have parallel. They are parallel. And then I'm going to erase out this negative 3x plus 4 line, because, and I'm going to go ahead and clear this out. I'm going to type in the equation that I came up with, because I want to check in my table that it does have the point 36 like they asked, that my math was correct, and you can see it clearly is. So now I know I have the correct equation. Okay, for example 2, it says write the equation of the line in standard form that is perpendicular to the line y equals negative 3x plus 4 and contains the point 36. Okay, so now we want to write perpendicular and we want to be perpendicular to this line. Okay, and we also want to contain the point 36. All right, so if you remember, perpendicular lines, most common perpendicular lines that you're going to see are your x and y axis. And so let's say the slope of, so I need the slope of this line, so it is -3. Okay, and perpendicular lines are lines that meet at right 90-degree angles or right angles. And so to get the perpendicular line of this line, this is the line that they're asking for, we need this equation, you have to do the opposite reciprocal. So what I have to do is I have to now flip the fraction. Well, this is not a fraction, but it's a whole number, so I know I can make it a fraction by putting it over 1. So I'm going to flip that fraction and make it 1/3 instead of 3/1, and then I'm going to change the sign. Well, if this slope is negative, then this slope has to be positive. Okay, so now I know my slope of the line, and then it contains the point 36. They want it in standard form, so all of your answer choices are going to be written in this format, and I actually left this off. This should be equal C. Okay, so what you're going to have to do is you are going to have to rearrange answer choice, all 4 answer choices, into y equals mx plus b format, because you want to make sure that they have the slope that you're looking for, which is 1/3. Okay, a positive 1/3. And if you rearrange any of your answer choices and you see that that is not a positive 1/3, then you can go ahead and eliminate that answer choice and do not pick that answer choice as your final answer. After you get all your equations into y equals format, you can then go to your graph, and you can go to y equals, and you can type in all the answer choices that are remaining. So you can type in the answer choices that have 1/3 as their slope, and then whatever their y-intercept is, and you can go to the table, and you are checking to see which points have 3,6 in their table. If it does not have the point 3,6, then it's not the equation. It has to have the slope we need, so it has to be the flipped fraction and the changed sign, but it also has to have that point. If it doesn't have both, then that is not the correct answer. Alright, looking at our last example, let me get squared up here. It says, write the equation of a line that's parallel to the y-axis and passes through the point 3,2. Okay, so I want to be parallel to the y-axis, and I want it to also have the point 3,2. Okay, so let's just draw a visual here. So the y-axis runs, so here's your x, and let's draw the y-axis. The y-axis is a vertical line, so it is a Vux line. Okay, so we've got a Vux line here, so remember slope is undefined and the equation is x equals. So I know that my final answer has to be an x equals because the line I want has to be parallel to the y-axis. So my line also has to be a Vux line. Okay, so I know it's going to be x equals. I just don't know x equals what. Okay, well it says that my line has to have the point 3, 2 on the line. Okay, so remember vertical lines all share the same x value. Okay, and the x value in this order pair is 3, which means any point that's on this vertical line are all going to have the same x value, so that means my equation is going to be x equals 3.